I learned everything from the front end of the business to the back end of the business, to balancing the books, promoting my own restaurant, marketing, networking. I met huge networks and friends that I still use to this day right now. It was crazy, it was surreal. For all of you who lived in New York City, you really understand what it means to make it, right? So this was me, 21 years old, running a business, right? We were doing $80,000 a month there. I was out there shirtless, pitching menus. I brought my homies from Jersey, kind of like a movie, right? Like Entourage. I brought a couple guys with me. One guy, Daryl, he was my general manager I brought on. I had a couple guys I brought on to work with me. I met some good friends out there who are like my brothers now. Walter Derrick, who is with me right now. He was a model back then. He ran some clubs. He elevated his career too while I was moving up. And that's how I got into the nightlife industry out there. We would basically promote at night, bring these guys, the managers, to the day, feed them healthy. It was like a handshake business. I learned all about network. Anyway, flash forward, right? 3 years later, Hurricane Sandy hit and it just destroyed the whole building. 22 years old. This is a turning point in my life. Everyone in town's proud of me. Everyone knows I own my own business. And now my business is destroyed, right? So I'm sitting here with a $2,000 a month, right? What do? Luckily, I came from nothing. Luckily, I understand what it means to just start working again. I literally don't even bat an eye. I'm just like, all right, I don't have any money saved up, but I'm gonna get a job bartending at Mercury Bar, 31st and 3rd. I went in there as a guest bartender and they didn't like me. I brought a following and all of a sudden I'm bartending. I go right back to personal training because that's something I learned, right? Training people out of my luxury building in 37th and 9th. People are coming to me now, making money there, bartending just like I did before I owned my business. And at that point, I could fend for myself, so even without a business. Now, after a while, I realized, what's the point of living in New York? I moved back and I'm like, this is where I didn't hit rock bottom, but I'm like, plans are not the same right now, right? So this is where I think I learned the most, this part right here. So I moved back to my mom's house at 23 years old, 22. After 3 years of being a business owner, it was humbling, right? Like, who can do that, right? They go from the top to this point in their life and say I just don't have it anymore. So I remember going back to my job that I left and just being like, knock, knock. I'm Chris Almazan, and I knew they knew who I was. I was a new manager at the time. And I was like, listen, I want to be a personal trainer. I didn't tell them necessarily what I did. I was just like, I want to work again. I'm at my mom's house. And I remember cashing in bonds for my sisters, because that's how broke I was back then. And just being like, I need to pay my gas money. I need some lunch money. And I got to work. My mom's driving me to personal train. And it was all gravy. It was all gold. It's all good, I was just like, whatever, I'm training again. After a month of putting my head down, enjoying the training, going back to personal training, learning the career, I get promoted. I'm top in the industry already in the first month of personal training. Why? I have all the experience in marketing that I learned owning my own business. To me, it's just work. It's just making more money. And I take it seriously, you know what I mean? I'm not in there like, I own this business. I was just like, whatever, I gotta make money. Company calls me and goes, Chris, you're top in the industry already, the first month. We have an opening for a management position. Here's your salary, here's what we'll pay you, here's your duties. I think about it for maybe a day. I go, I'll take it. It was the worst gym in their chain, right? They had about 10 chains back then. I remember going in and being top in the sales, having that business background. It was probably the hardest thing I ever did at that time. Forget owning my own business. I walked into the worst gym, right? Having to hit these quotas and they're just like, here, take it. So luckily, this is when I learned that if you're good in sales, you could own your own business or do whatever you want. I go in there and hit the quota by myself. I literally hit the whole team quota with my own personal training set. I go in, I don't even care because they allowed me to train and sell, right? So I don't even need to leverage with my team. I'm just like, whatever. You want PT? Sell. Bang, here's my quota. I would get paid commission on that, personal training on that, hourly on that, and salary. I was killing it. It was like my own business. So that rekindled me. It renewed my motivation. They didn't even mess with me because I was killing it so good.